Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite for December 23rd, 2020. Now, overall, last night's show, it was a decent show. It wasn't a great show. It wasn't a perfect show. It was a decent show. Nothing happened. Nothing happened on the show of importance. It was just it was just a filler show. And so this episode of Dynamite came on late. It was it came on right after the game, the Celtics and the Bucks. And so while the Bucks and the Celtics game was on, I was watching NXT. So I did catch NXT before I watched Dynamite. But yeah, just like last week's show, this show was tag team heavy. And so yeah, we had multiple tag team matches and we had one-on-one matches. But anyway, to start off the show, we had Chris Jericho and MJF of the Inner Circle with Jake Hager in their corner versus Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin. And so yeah, first off we had Jericho and Darius. They start off the match. We had chops to Darius. So Jericho and Darius, they going back and forth. We had an insecurity to Chris Jericho, and we had a double team move from Top Flight to Chris Jericho, and then MJF he tags in, and we had a drop kick to MJF from Dante Martin, and we had four of these guys that were going back and forth. They were fighting each other. So the referee trying to take control of this match but couldn't, and we had a back suplex to Dante Martin from Chris Jericho. We had a double flapjack, so a double team move from the Inner Circle to Dante from Chris Jericho and MJF. And then at one point, Jake Hager he gets involved in the match, and he gives a cheap shot to Dante. And we had a crossbody to Chris Jericho from Dante Martin. Jericho kicks out. We had a hot tag to Darius Martin. He gives a Spanish fly to MJF, followed by a tope suicida to Chris Jericho, and we had a spinning DDT to MJF from Darius Martin, and we had a O'Connor roll from Dante Martin to Chris Jericho. MJF kicks out. We had a power bomb to Dante Martin from MJF, followed up by a lion salt from Chris Jericho, and Dante kicks out. And we had the Walls of Jericho attempt. So Jericho he went for the Walls of Jericho, and Dante he reverses it, and we had a double DDT to MJF and Chris Jericho from Darius Martin, and we had at one point we had Dante Martin he sends Chris Jericho over the timekeeper's table, and Darius he tries to go for a top rope move, and Jake Hager he gets involved again and slams him on the ring apron, and we had MJF deliver the heat seeker to Darius to win the match. So Chris Jericho and MJF they win the match. Great match. Great showing from Top Flight. And so right after the match, so yeah, Chris Jericho and MJF they celebrating their win. We had Jake Hager, he grabs the mic and he speaks. Hager normally don't speak, but he spoke. And so he said he had to get something off his chest. He says that, the Inner Circle, all they done was win ever since they decided to work together as a team. And he said except for one person. He called out Wardlow. And he said that Wardlow was out on family business. And so yeah, Hager he was upset that Wardlow he didn't show up. And he was upset at Wardlow that, he get to choose that, he's mad at Wardlow because Wardlow is choosing when to show up. And so Hager he challenges Wardlow to a match next week on Dynamite. And so yeah, Hager he went to Tony Khan decided to make the match. And so Tony Khan gave him the match. So next week is going to be Jake Hager versus Wardlow next week. And so MJF, he's not happy about that. And he's arguing with Chris Jericho, like, hey man, like what's this guy doing? Like he can't do that. And so yeah, that was the end of this segment. And so right after this, we had Tony Schiavone in the ring, and he calls out Sting. He introduces Sting. Sting comes out to the ring, and Tony Schiavone, he asked Sting how it felt to be back on TNT. And Sting, he says that he was back in the jungle, and that he was part of building the original jungle, and he was happy to be part of it. And so Tony Schiavone, he asks Sting, like, what, like, dude, why are you here? Everybody is asking, why are you here? And so Schiavone, he mentions Darby Allin and points out Darby Allin, who was sitting in the crowd. And so Sting, Sting, he dodged the question. He didn't even much answer the question. And so yeah, Sting, he mentions Dusty Rhodes. He brought up Dusty Rhodes, and he did a Dusty Rhodes voice impersonation. And he brought up like his memories with Dusty. And so Sting, he says when he saw Cody Rhodes leading AEW, he wanted to be a part of it. And so yeah, Sting, he turns his attention to Darby Allin, but was interrupted by Team Taz. So Team Taz came out and interrupted Sting. And so Taz, he says that he's known Sting for years, and he knows that Sting is all about Sting. And Taz said that he was tired of Tony Schiavone building up Sting. And Ricky Starks, he grabbed the mic, and he says that Sting is gonna get hurt playing in the jungle because they don't care. They don't care about his business with Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin. And yeah, they were about to beat up Taz. So Team Taz were about to beat up Taz, and no, Team Taz were about to beat up Sting. So they were walking to the ring. They were about to attack Sting, and so the lights went out. Darby Allin came out. So yeah, the lights shut off first. The lights shut off, and then when the lights came back on, Darby, he was in the middle of the ring. And yeah, so Darby, he had his skateboard in his hand, and so Team Taz, they said that, we're gonna take a high road. We're gonna fight another day. And Brian Cage, who was there too, he wanted to fight now. So he didn't want to wait another day. He wanted to fight now. And so Team Taz, they held back Brian Cage, and yeah, Team Taz, they left, and Sting and Darby Allin, they were staring at each other, and that was it. So yeah, we still don't have an explanation of why he is here. He mentioned Cody Rhodes. Him leading AEW, and decided that he wanted to be here, and that was his reason on being here. That's not good enough. That's not a good enough explanation. Like, dude, why are you here? Why did you choose to come here to AEW? Like, what's your purpose in being in AEW? What's your intention? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do in AEW? And we still haven't got that. We haven't gotten it last week. We haven't even gotten it the week before. Like, dude, like, why are you here? Why are you in AEW? And so yeah, that was the end of the segment. And so right after this, we had the cameras. They showed MJF. He was backstage, and he was outside of a dining room. And so he goes inside of the dining room, and in the room is Proud and Powerful. Santana and Ortiz of the Inner Circle. And so MJF said that he's heard what happened to Santana. Santana, he lost someone recently close to him. And MJF says that, he recently lost his grandfather to cancer. And so MJF, he says that he knows how hard it is, and he's there for him. And so Santana, he tells MJF to keep his head up, and they both hug. And so right after Santana and MJF, they hugged, we had Ortiz, he shook MJF's hand, and that was it. And so right after this, we had another tag team match. It was Colt Cabana, number 5 and number 10 of the Dark Order versus Jurassic Express. That's Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marko Stunt. And so yeah, first off, we start off this match with Stunt and Cabana. We had a Hurricanrana to Cabana from Marko Stunt. We had a drop kick to number 5 from Jungle Boy. We had a triple team move to number 10 from Jurassic Express. We had a double team move to Jungle Boy from number 5 and number 10. We had a lariat to number 10 from Jungle Boy. We had a hot tag to Luchasaurus. He gives out clotheslines and big boots. And we had a spinning kick. We had a spinning kick to number 10 from Luchasaurus. We had a standing moonsault to number 5 from Luchasaurus. We had an assisted diving crossbody from Marko Stunt. So Luchasaurus, he picks up Marko Stunt and just throws him onto who was it? To number 5? Yeah, it was to number 5. And we had a spine buster to Stunt from number 10, followed up by a frog splash from number 5 to Stunt. And then Jungle Boy, he breaks up the pin. We had a super kick to number 5 from Jungle Boy. And we had Luchasaurus again throwing Marko Stunt around. He threw him onto the Dark Order. We had a powerbomb combo from Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy to number 5 to win the match. So Jurassic Express wins the match. And Tony Schiavone comes into the ring and interviews Jurassic Express. But we're cut off by FTR. So FTR interrupted Jurassic Express. And so yeah, Tully Blanchard, he speaks and he calls the Jurassic Express the Jurassic Park. So yeah, I thought that was funny. He called the Jurassic Express Jurassic Park. And yeah, we all know what he meant, but he called them Jurassic Park. And so Blanchard, he says that he understood why Jurassic Express wanted to make a name for themselves. But they had 2 weeks to prepare for the beating that is coming. And Blanchard says that FTR are on a quest to regain their tag team championships. And they were not going to let dinosaurs take them down. So yeah, Blanchard, he turns his attention to Marko Stunt. He said if Marko Stunt get involved, then Blanchard will have to take a flashback to the 80s. So whatever that meant. So he's saying that if Marko Stunt get involved, then something's going to happen to him. And so yeah, that was the end of the segment. So right after this, we had Alex Marvez. He tries to interview Kenny Omega and Don Callis in a hotel. And so Callis, he complains that, Pac is making the matches. And Callis, he tells Tony Khan to control his own promotion. Like, dude, control your talent. Like, control your promotion. And then Kenny Omega, he brings up the fact that Fenix, he dropped the ball in every championship match that he been in. Like, in AEW, he choked out. He choked. In AAA, he choked. In the AEW Eliminator Tournament, he choked. He lost. And so Omega asked if Fenix couldn't win those matches, why do you think that he could beat me, Kenny Omega, in a title match? And so yeah, Omega, he was saying that he was going to hurt Fenix. He was going to hurt him. And then Omega, he asked Callis if they take Fenix back to Impact Wrestling. And so Callis, he says that nah, Fenix is too fragile. He's injury prone. And so he brought up Conan. He says Conan might take him back to AAA. And so yeah, and Omega, he says that Fenix, he get hurt. I collect championships. I'm here collecting championships, and this dude collecting injuries. He keep getting hurt all the time. And so that was it. That was the end of the segment. And so yeah, they promoted the match next week. So it's gonna be Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix for the AEW World Championship. And so right after this, we had a one-on-one match. So yeah, we had a one-on-one match. It was the Butcher with the Blade and the Bunny with Eddie Kingston on commentary versus Pac with Pentagon in his corner. So yeah, we had Pac. So yeah, we started off the match. We had Pac using his speed against the Butcher. And we had kicks to the Butcher. We had a side drop kick to the Butcher. And then the Butcher, he fights back. He gives a crossbody to Pac. We had a big boot to Pac outside of the ring. And then the Butcher, he throws Pac into the guardrail. We had a gut wrench suplex to Pac. Pac kicks out. We had kicks to the Butcher. So Pac is fighting back. And he kicks the Butcher. We had a super kick to the Butcher from Pac. We had a diving drop kick to the Butcher. And so the Blade, who was outside of the ring, he attacks Pentagon outside the ring. And so this distracts Pac. And so we had a falling powerbomb to Pac from the Butcher, and Pac kicks out. And then we had Eddie Kingston. Towards the end of the match, we had Eddie Kingston. He tries to get the Butcher attention. So he's on commentary. He tries to get the Butcher attention. He tells him, like, hey, like, finish this match already. Like, do it. Like, he wanted the Butcher to snap Pac's neck. And so the Butcher, he was hesitant. And so the Kingston, he was like, dude, go ahead and do it already. And so Eddie Kingston, he tries to go ringside. He tries to go ringside to talk some sense into the Butcher. And so Lance Archer, he comes out. He comes out and he stares down Eddie Kingston. And so Eddie Kingston, he just backs away. And then right after that, we had the Black Arrow from Pac to the Butcher to win. So Pac wins the match. He beats the Butcher. And that was it. So yeah, it was a good match from Pac and the Butcher. And so right after this, we had Jade Cargill, who was backstage, and she has a message to Brandi Rhodes. And so yeah, Cargill, she says that all of Brandi's CBO duties and entire women's division will be taken care of now that she's gone. So yeah, Cargill, she says that Shaq called out Cody Rhodes, and Cargill says that she is calling out Brandi Rhodes. And so Cargill, she demanded that management better find her a worthy opponent. And so that was it. Terrible promo delivery. Terrible promo delivery. Like, when she delivered her promo, it sounded like she was reading off of a paper. All of your CBO duties and entire women's division will be taken care of now that I'm gone. Now that you're gone, Brandi Rhodes. Dude, I am not interested in a match between these two. I am not. Nobody do not want to see those two. So yeah, right after this, we had Tony Schiavone with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford with Miro, and they announced their wedding date. And so Kip Sabian, he grabs the mic, and so he tries to announce the wedding date, and the best friends, their music hit, and so they were acting surprised and shocked that they're coming out to fight them. And so yeah, they were acting surprised, and then right after that, they burst out into laughter. So they were laughing, and because they didn't come out, and so they was like, I got you, I got all of y'all. And so yeah, they played video footage, and all you saw in the background was Trent being loaded up in an ambulance on a stretcher with Chuck and Orange Cassidy by his side. And so they got into the ambulance and they rode together to the hospital. And so that was it. And so yeah, they announced the wedding date. And so the wedding date is on February the 3rd. So that's on a Wednesday. So that's a Dynamite edition. So it's February 3rd, beach break. And so I was like, man, like when they announced that, I was like, man, we have to deal with this for another month. I'm waiting for this thing to be over with already. Man, we got to deal with this for another month. So yeah, right after this, we had Evil Uno of the Dark Order with Stu Grayson in his corner versus Dustin Rhodes with Lee Johnson in his corner of the Nightmare Family. So yeah, while Dustin Rhodes, he was making his entrance to the ring, we had Evil Uno. He slaps Dustin Rhodes to the ground, and so the bell rung. Dustin, he fights back. We had a big boot to Evil Uno. We had a drop kick to Dustin Rhodes from Evil Uno. So we had Evil Uno. He delivered a senton bomb to Dustin Rhodes. Rhodes kicks out. We had a neck breaker to Dustin Rhodes. Rhodes kicks out. We had a power driver to Dustin Rhodes from Evil Uno, and Dustin Rhodes kicks out at the last second. He almost had him. So yeah, they were going back and forth with strikes. We had a running bulldog to Evil Uno from Dustin Rhodes to win the match. Dustin Rhodes win. So Dustin Rhodes, he beats Evil Uno. So Evil Uno, he tries to. So yeah, right after the match, Evil Uno, he gets down on his hands and his knees, and he just extends his hand to try to get Dustin Rhodes to join the Dark Order. And so Dustin, he attacks Evil Uno. And so Stu Grayson, he helps out Evil Uno. And so yeah, he attacks Dustin Rhodes too. So yeah, Stu Grayson, he attacks Dustin Rhodes. And then Lee Johnson, he tries to help out, but Grayson took him out. And then QT Marshall, he came from the back and he helped out Dustin Rhodes. And then he got taken out. So yeah, he attacked Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, and then Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, they took out QT Marshall. And then Lee Johnson ended up taking them out. So Lee Johnson, he jumped from the rope. He delivered a springboard drop kick to Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, sending them out of the ring. So that was it. So yeah, this feud is still going on between the Dark Order and the Nightmare family. I think Cody might get involved too, because he have unfinished business with the Dark Order. So yeah, Cody might end up getting involved later on. And so yeah, right after this we had Tony Schiavone. He's backstage with Shawn Spears. And so yeah, Spears, he says that he's been digging out of a hole for the past 18 months that Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes pushed him into. And so Tony Schiavone, he asked Spears, like, did you ever think that you were the problem? Was the problem was ever you? Have you ever thought about that? And so Spears, he was upset. He was offended by that. And he says that he can work anywhere in the world with the talent that he has. And so Spears, he goes on to say that he wastes his time with guys like you, Schiavone. And then Spears, he tells Schiavone to tell Tony Khan and he said all the executive vice pricks that he'll come back if he feels like it. And so yeah, that was it. And so yeah, right after this we had Dasha Gonzalez. She tries to interview Hikaru Shida. And so yeah, she did get one question in. She asked her about Abaddon. And so Abaddon, she attacks Hikaru Shida from behind. And so yeah, they were fighting each other. You had Michael Nakazawa and officials, they were breaking up the fight. And so right after the fight was broken up, we had Hikaru Shida. She made her entrance to the ring. So she made her way to the rings because she had a match. So it was Hikaru Shida, the AEW Women's Champion, versus Alex Gracia. Gracia? I think that was her name. Alex Gracia. And so Shida, she takes her anger out on Gracia. And we had an inside cradle from Gracia. Shida kicks out. We had a running boot to Shida from Gracia. Shida kicks out. We had a knee lift to Gracia. And then right after that, we had Abaddon. She shows up in the crowd. And yeah, she shows up in the crowd, and Shida, she attacks Abaddon while Abaddon was in the crowd. And so Shida, she almost got counted out. So yeah, the referee was counting to 10. Shida almost got counted out. And so yeah, Shida, she went back in the ring. She tries to go for the Tomoshi. Gracia dodges it, rolls up Shida. Shida kicks out. And then we had a Falcon Arrow. We had a Falcon Arrow to Gracia from Shida to win. So Hikaru Shida wins. She beats Alex Gracia. And so yeah, right after that, Shida, she went out of the ring. She goes outside of the ring with a kendo stick in her hand, and she just pokes. She pokes Abaddon with the stick, checking on her, like seeing if she's still alive. And then Abaddon, she was playing possum, and she just attacked. She attacked Hikaru Shida. So yeah, she attacked Hikaru Shida. They were both fighting. Abaddon ended up biting her neck, and that was it. And so right after this was the main event, and it was for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It was the Acclaimed, Max Caster, and Anthony Bowens versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, the AEW Tag Team Champions. So yeah, we had an assisted double drop kick to the Acclaim from Nick Jackson. We had a spear to Caster from Matt Jackson outside of the ring. We had a double foot stomp to Bowens from Nick Jackson. We had a double team move to Matt Jackson from Caster and Bowens. We had a senton attempt. So yeah, Nick Jackson, he tries to go for the senton bomb, and then Bowens gets the knees up. And then we had a hot tag. We had a hot tag to Matt Jackson. We had a double DDT to Bowens and Caster. We had Matt deliver his Northern Lights suplex to Bowens, follow up by a sharpshooter. And so Caster, he tries to break up the sharpshooter, and then Nick stops him. Nick stops Caster and puts him in a sharpshooter outside of the ring. And so, yeah, they ended up fighting out of the sharpshooter, and then we had a Doomsday Device to Bowens from the Bucks, and then Bowens kicks out. We had a superplex splash combo to Nick Jackson from the Acclaim, and Nick kicks out. And so, yeah, we had a super kick to Max Caster. We had a rolling elbow to Bowens from Matt Jackson. So, yeah, Bowens, he delivers a rolling elbow to Matt Jackson. And then Nick, he tries to super kick Bowens. Bowens moves out of the way. And so Nick, he accidentally kicks the referee in the face. So the referee is out. And then we had a low blow. We had a low blow from Caster to Nick Jackson, followed by a shot. So we had who was it? Yeah, it was Max Caster. No, it was Anthony Bowens. He hit Nick Jackson with that boombox. The boombox that they come out to the ring with, he hit him with the boombox. And so, yeah, while the referee is down. And so, yeah, we had another referee came out. You know, Caster, he goes for the cover right after he blasted Nick with that boombox. He goes for the cover, and Nick kicks out. And so, yeah, we had super kick party from the Bucks. And then we had one of the Bucks. I forget who it was. I think it was Matt. We had one of the Bucks. They threw Anthony Bowens over the timekeeper's area. No, he put him through the timekeeper's table. He power bombs him through the timekeeper's table. And then we had the BTE trigger to Max Caster from the Bucks to win the match. So the Young Bucks win the match and are still the AEW World Tag Team Champions. So yeah, that was a great match. Great match and a great title defense from the Bucks. So yeah, they both look good. Both teams look good. And who's next? I think it was who was number 2? I think the Best Friends will be next. So right after they're done with Miro and Kip Sabian, I guess it's FTR. FTR is next. So yeah, FTR and the Bucks will be back in the ring together right after they get through with Jurassic Express. So yeah, man, that was it. That was it with AEW Dynamite. Decent show. It's a decent show. Oh yeah, next week's show. So yeah, next week's show is gonna be. So yeah, Jon Moxley, he will be back. So Jon Moxley, he will be back next week. We have Hikaru Shida versus Abaddon for the AEW Women's Championship next week. We have Jake Hager versus Wardlow. So the Inner Circle versus the Inner Circle. We have Darby Allin. We have Darby Allin, who is the TNT champion, versus Brian Cage for the TNT championship. We have Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson in his corner versus Matt Sydal in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, wait. The Darby Allin and Brian Cage is in 2 weeks. And the Cody versus Matt Sydal match is in 2 weeks too. And we have Fenix versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship next week. So next week's show will be looking good. Well, it is looking good. And so, yeah, man, that was it. That was it with the episode of Dynamite, the review for Dynamite. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell for all notifications. And that way, you'll be notified on my next videos. And share this video. Share this video with your friends and your families and everybody that you come in contact with on a day-to-day basis. And I hope you guys are having a great day and a Merry Christmas. And yeah, that was it. And thank you once again for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Oh yeah, my pro wrestling crate. Yeah, I will have a video out for the pro wrestling crate. So don't forget about it. I mean, I haven't forgotten about it. I haven't forgotten about it. But I will have that video out later this week. So yeah. But anyway, this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. And you guys stay safe out there. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So yeah, this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. And that's that.